meteorologist Riley Hale for your first alert. You're watching News 12 live at 5. Continues.
Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger is stopping by a few of Georgia's rural counties to address financial literacy in school. Abby Kasoris explains what this could mean for some schools in the state. But first, for the third weekend in a row, a pedestrian has died on Augusta's roads. The latest incident around 3 Sunday morning on Gordon Highway. 39-year-old Barry Anthony Smith died. Our Sydney Hood is live. And Sydney, you spoke with Anthony's family. What did they have to say?
Well, they are beyond devastated, as you can imagine. Whenever I was over at his parents' house earlier today, his mom had a picture of him that she was cradling along with his social security card. It was given to her yesterday morning whenever she got that knock at the door that no mom wants to answer. It was someone telling her that her son, her only son, was out here on Gordon Highway crossing the road whenever a car hit him and killed him instantly. His family right now is beyond devastated because Anthony comes from a very close, tight-knit household. It was him, his parents, and his sister, who he shares a very special bond with. They grew up, having their typical brother and sister back and forth with one another, but in the end, they knew they had each other, and they, again, had this very special relationship that carried well into adulthood with them, and that right there is what makes this loss even harder with each passing day.
I feel like I worked so much this week that I was so exhausted I just fell asleep and it's a dream. And it didn't really hit me till this morning. I woke up the same exact time this morning that she called me yesterday morning. And she told me that my brother had been hit by a car.
Anthony's sister, Shannon, who you just heard from, she and I were talking earlier, and she was telling me that her and Anthony, with them getting older, they were having these conversations with one another, what are we going to do with mom and dad as they're getting older? Shannon never in a million years would imagine that Anthony would be the first to go ahead of all of them. And coming up all new tonight on News 12 at 6 o'clock, the heartbreak Anthony's family is feeling right now and how they are not the only family feeling this right now.
Yes, Sydney, heartbreaking to see a lot of these families have to go through this and then have to talk about it afterwards. Thanks for continuing your coverage on this. Well, it wasn't intimate. Thanks, Riley. Another person has been arrested in connection to the deadly 2020 shooting at the Palmetto Crossing Apartments that took the life of Tyquan Graham. Early this morning, authorities arrested Demetrius Doe Jr. at his home in Lexington County. He is now facing charges of murder and criminal conspiracy. Doe is the third person to be arrested following this shooting. Last month, Raheem DeVoe was arrested and charged with accessory, and over the summer, Richard Garvin Jr. was arrested and charged with murder and criminal conspiracy. The search continues for 4 Georgia inmates that escaped from a Bibb County detention center last week. Over the weekend, police say they found the car that the inmates used to escape. Officials say they located the blue Dodge Charger in a Biomat USA parking lot in Macon. Now, the Atlanta FBI says they will reward $73,000 to anyone with information that will lead to their capture. The Burke County Sheriff's Office is asking for your help to find this missing man. Brandon Mills was last seen at a home on 4 Point Road on Thursday. Officials say he was last seen wearing a blue polo shirt, blue jeans, and driving a 2004 silver F-150. If you see him or know where he is, call the Sheriff's Office with the number there on your screen. Well, preparing the next generation for success, the Secretary of State's office kicked off their statewide financial literacy tour today. Our State House reporter Abby Kasoris uncovers how this unconventional approach is giving kids the tools for success.
Teachers here at Fannin County High School, about 100 miles north of Atlanta, say that students, especially seniors, have questions about their money, but there's no lesson plan in their curriculum.
I have students that not only want to go to college, but also want to go straight into the workforce. So that gives them less time.
Colby Rogers is a 10th and 11th grade American literature teacher. She says teens are desperate to learn about money.
They may not come from backgrounds that really know money or know investing or how important it is to have a credit card, but treat it responsibly.
Which is why this is exciting. A nonprofit run by musicians, using their music to teach students how to make their money work for them.
If you start at 18 years old, you open up one of these accounts, and at 18 years old, you start putting $50 a week into one of these things. $50 a week, and you do that from now until you're 65. You're supposed to grow at 6%. That didn't sound like much, but I'm ready to cash out. How do we do? That banker's going to hand you $650,000.
The Secretary of State's office is now using federal grant money to bring the funding for the Future Tour across the state to over 5,000 students, more than 800 in Fannin County alone, including 12th grader Catherine Tamburino.
Have signed up for 2 work-based learning classes, get money, doing stuff with our school, and being still in the community. It's great, so I plan on saving up some of that money for my colleges.
College can mean student loans, new spending habits, getting a credit card. Each student is bringing home one of these, a booklet full of information.
I definitely will tell my mom about it. I think it's so cool.
The program kicked off here today and will spread across the state over the next couple of months. Starting next school year, finance classes will be mandatory for 11th and 12th grade students because of a new Georgia law. In Blue Ridge, I'm Abby Kasouris.
Thanks, Abby. Early voting in South Carolina started today and will last for 2 weeks. Polls will be open from 8:30 to 5 p.m., and Aiken County officials say their main early voting center will be at the Government Center on University Parkway. If you can't vote in person, you have until Friday to request a mail-in ballot and return it by November 7th. For more information on early voting, just head to our website, wrdw.com. Halloween is right around the corner, and in downtown Barnwell, they are definitely getting into the spirit of things. We'll explain coming up next. Riley?
And the forecast is looking to stay dry for the next several days, and temperatures will be warming up. We'll have a look at that full forecast next.
All new on News 12 at 6 o'clock, we're looking into victims assistance programs that help families of crime victims lay their loved ones to rest without the financial burden.
Time and temp.
All right, welcome back as we take a live look outside over I-20 here on a gorgeous afternoon, and we send things over to First Alert Chief Meteorologist Riley Hill. Riley, you couldn't ask for a better afternoon. It is just perfect outside.
I know, and I'm all the way through the rest of the work week and the weekend. Not much rain this 7-day forecast, Will.
All right, thanks, Riley. In Barnwell County, the local Rotary Club is holding its 4th annual Scarecrow Contest. All over downtown, various businesses, organizations, and students from a few local schools take part in designing scarecrows. Arwell Volk stopped by to check out this friendly competition.
It's just been a lot of fun.
There's a whole village in the middle of town.
This was an idea from a former Rotarian, and we've run with it and really love it.
Lynn McEwen says the Barnwell County Rotary Club introduced the idea 4 years ago. Every fall since then, people in Barnwell have let their imaginations run wild.
It's a good cause, but it's also just a lot of fun. People love to make scarecrows and to try different things.
She says this year there are close to 30 scarecrows, with about 8 of them made by students.
The kids love doing this. So a lot of the kids, primary and elementary school children, have been working on these as well.
We checked out a few of them. What's going on in this car? The passengers look scared. The Magic School Bus made a stop in Barnwell. On this field trip, Miss Frizzle's class turned into scarecrows. And there's a cutout where you can try becoming a scarecrow if your head fits. And now that I think about it, I might have done that wrong.
As you can see, we have a lot of creativity in the community, and they love getting out here and doing this.
It's a big scarecrow contest in a small town. In Barnwell, Will Volk, on your side.
Will Volk there showing us how it's done. You can vote for the People's Choice in the Scarecrow Contest until Thursday at noon. Just visit the Rotary Club's Facebook page where they have pictures of each display there. You can also head to our website for that link as well. A woman in Atlanta says she's furious after she came back from vacation and found her home completely destroyed. Stick around for that story.
First Alert Radar, powered by Jim Hudson Automotive Group. It's October.
It's coming.
The 58th Annual Columbia County Fall Fair, featuring the world-famous True Exposition. Gates open at 5 p.m. Thursday, November 2nd. Big savings with advanced online ticket sales ending November 1st. Great specials every night, so check our website.
ColumbiaCountyFair.net.
For the nightly schedule and great savings. Terrific music, entertainment acts, great food, and free parking with security.
Fun, fun, fun. 58 years of amazing.
Don't miss the Columbia County Fall Fair at the Columbia County Fairgrounds on Columbia Road across from Patriots Park.
Hi, Suzanne Lily Honey-Michael here with Hardwood Floors and More. Welcome to our showroom located on Washington Road in Evans. We look forward to seeing you so you can discover for yourself everything we have to offer. Hardwood Floors and More. So much more in store for you.
We're here at Brandsmark USA's new
Wrdw.com.
A woman in Atlanta is trying to figure out what to do next after a company mistakenly demolished her home while she was on vacation. The woman came back to find a pile of rubble in the place of her longtime family home. She says that she received a call from her neighbor while she was away asking if she had hired someone to tear that home down.
It's just hard to believe somebody just thinks they got the right just to come up and tear something up and just walk away from it and leave it. So it's just a grumbled mess. The whole house is just deployed just crushed in.
And the company behind the demolition says that it is investigating and working to resolve that mishap. Organizations across South Carolina say they're doing the work to prevent gun violence and need to do more. But they say that the biggest challenge they face is a lack of funding to get that work done. Today, representatives from these organizations took part in a roundtable discussion at the State House to discuss things to change. They call gun violence as a public health crisis. Now, advocates say smaller organizations closest to the issue are usually closest to the solution as well, but often they're overlooked when it comes to that funding. Representative Jermaine Johnson of Richland County says he'll push the next state budget to change that.
We need to look at where we're seeing the most issues, the most problematic areas across the state, and really start targeting out those areas. The problem that we have here is that a lot of the grassroots organizations, they don't have a lot of the resources.
The director of MUSC's violence prevention program also says prevention work on that front end is a lot less expensive for the state than responding to it, with law enforcement costs, hospital bills, and other expenses adding up. Well, it's the season for spooky stories, and if you have time to read an entire novel, look no further than your cell phone. An app is sharing scary stories in a unique way over text messages. Our consumer tech reporter Jamie Tucker explains.
What the Tech, sponsored by Augusta Preparatory Day School.
The scariest ghost stories are the ones that pull you in, make you feel like you're experiencing the story, like you're actually part of the story. And that's the idea behind this app called Hooked. Instead of reading like a book, Hooked pulls you into a conversation over text messages between two people. The story is told one line at a time, like this one between a mom and daughter whose teeth started falling out. She texts mom in a panic, and turns out mom was keeping a secret. Reading the text messages makes you feel like the story is actually unfolding in real time. You can read as much as you want at once or check back during the day to see what happens next.
It's coming from the basement.
And if you prefer, there's audio of the text being read by actors. And if scary stories isn't your cup of tea, there are comedies, mysteries, and romance novels, all told through text messages. Some are not for kids, though, and you'll find stories with graphic language and adult subjects. Hooked is a free app for iPhone and Android, but there are some ads and a limited number of stories you can read. A full subscription is pricey, $5 a week, but there is a 7-day free trial. I'm Jamie Tucker, and Hooked is the app of the day.
All right, thank you for those tips, Jamie. We are looking at a cold night tonight. Low temps anywhere from the mid to low 40s out there by daybreak tomorrow morning. So definitely going to need that jacket the first part of the day. Warm afternoons, though, in that 7-day. We'll take a look at it just after the break.
It's Dr.
At Batteries Plus, we bring power to your life.
brings power to your connection. Phone and tablet repair and battery replacement too. Make an appointment online or walk in anytime.
We're here at BrandsMart USA.
Over the weekend, the Augusta Junior players won Best Show at this year's Georgia Theater Conference for their performance in Sistas. Now, this is the second year in a row that the junior players have won at the statewide competition held in Columbus. This morning, we caught up with a few kids from the cast after their big win.
I feel like it's a good teaching lesson. Like, we're going through so many things in history that don't really get talked about because of how traumatic they are. And especially my character, I talk a lot about all those traumatic events, and I try and make my niece understand what we were going through. And I feel like it's not so much a lecture, but we're inviting you in to come learn with us.
Again, a huge congratulations to them, and according to the GTC's guidelines for the Community Theater Division, the winning show is given the opportunity to bring their show to the Southeastern Theater Conference in March in Birmingham, Alabama. So again, big congratulations to them. Very impressive as well, Riley.
That is a very high honor, and a big congratulations to them as they bring home some more hardware. I believe that's 2 years in a row for them. Yep, we said that. Yeah, awesome stuff. Hey, we got a beautiful view over Clarksville Lake. We got our camera zoomed in. We're checking to see if these guys are catching anything. I haven't been able to see them catch anything just yet, but they got a perfect afternoon to be out there. We got sunshine overhead, temperatures in the low 70s. Not much wind out there. Wind actually less than 5 miles an hour being reported out at Bushfield. We do have mostly clear skies for the rest of tonight. This is going to be a cool start down to the low and mid 40s the first part of our Tuesday. You can see tomorrow we're just going to hang on to sunny skies for the most part. Light east wind and temperatures most likely mid 70s out there tomorrow afternoon. Once we get later into the week, we are going to see those temperatures warm up a little bit more for us. So we are seeing highs upper 70s Wednesday, near 80 by Thursday, and you can see those morning temps also going to be warming up for us. So it is going to be a cold start out there tomorrow morning. And then as we start to see a few more clouds show up, you can see we do turn partly cloudy Wednesday into Thursday, but not much rain in our forecast. We are going to stay completely dry over the next 7 days, and those afternoons are going to get warmer for us. Now, our Halloween forecast doesn't extend out quite as far to Halloween next Tuesday, but you can see until we get there, we are going to be bone dry. So looking good to get outside. We got some fall colors starting to pop across the region, so looking good for getting outside, checking that out. And then I'm kind of looking ahead to Tuesday. Obviously, the trick-or-treating forecast is going to be big. Right now, I'm not seeing a huge rain signal, so I think we should be able to continue this dry streak all the way to Tuesday, and it looks like the start of
Shirt in the morning, and then you get to the afternoon, it's 80 degrees, you know. I'm trying to get used to that still. Thanks for that, Riley. Well, what can you do when you can't financially bear the unexpected death of a loved one? We'll explain next, coming up on News 12 at 6 o'clock.